A restaurant with an investment of 8 million yuan closed down. The owner sold his home and car to invest in it. Now he broke down in tears at the tragic loss. Have you noticed that all of a sudden luxury cars aren't selling in China? Some models that used to require an extra charge and wait time are no longer in demand, and even Porsches like this one have seen a lot of discounts. This netizen's cousin bought a villa worth over 346,000 by the East Lake in Wuhan. But such a good home can't be sold even after a price drop of over 138,000. In China, luxury homes, cars, and restaurants are all in a slump at the moment. The price of luxury homes in Shanghai has plummeted. Recently, a realtor shared some records of secondhand luxury home sales in Shanghai in May. It can be seen that transactions above US 27,686 per unit are getting fewer and fewer. This is the home of a real Shanghai lady. She owns several properties in Shanghai, including villas, old mansions, and riverview bungalows. The one we're looking at here is her smallest one, but it's still worth a whopping 4.15 million, and it's one of the finest mansions in Soho Bay. The mansion has a beautiful front door that costs tens of thousands and features a two-staircase, one-family design with an elevator in the front and one in the back. The home is adorned with expensive crystal lights. Furniture alone costs tens of thousands. The price of the balcony is about 553,000. This home is now reduced to just under 276,000. The Green City neighborhood in Huangpu district is a trendsetter for luxury housing in Shanghai. This is a Green City Huangpu Bay home. It just sold for just over 7.6 million. It was on the 20th floor with 331 square meters. When it was at its peak, it would have sold for over 10.4 million. Now the price has dropped by over 2.8 million, or nearly 30%. The landlord is determined to sell it, and the buyer is also rational. Here's a mansion with a southbound view in Green City, Huangpu Bay. It's 247 square meters, selling after a price drop of US 2.743 million. Other upscale neighborhoods in Shanghai have also seen varying degrees of price cuts, ranging from 26 to 18%.
How
awful the luxury property crash is. Now all Shanghai's realtors are pushing the same property, the Yangpu district's top luxury property, Feili Jiadi. The property owner had the price dropped by almost 700,000 in April, but it didn't sell. Now it's dropped to another roughly $400,000. It's been on the market since last August, so it'll be a year soon. The highest sold price in the same neighborhood last year was about 26,000 per square meter, but now the price of this home is already as low as about 18,000 per square meter. But there is no one to take over. It's 243 square meters, which used to be worth over 6 million. The price keeps dropping. It has dropped over 12,000 per month, $2,769 per week, and $415 per day since it's listed.
每周跌了20万，每天跌了3万。
Why are luxury properties in Dongguan not selling? It's simple. There aren't enough rich people. In the past 2 years, Dongguan City's luxury residential bungalows have been popping up for sale all over the place. Vanke's Gen series alone has 3 units, as well as the homes of the China Resources Group and the Pengru Group. They often build homes that are more than 300 square meters in size and target high-end circles. But recently, they have been selling slowly. After all, there are only so many rich people in a city. They have bought homes over the past 2 years, but the bungalows are still being built, and the supply and inventory are still rising more than the demand. That's the problem. Another analysis points out that the main reason why luxury properties are not selling is that the chain is broken. Specifically, if housing prices fall, many middle-class families lack the ability to resist risk because most of their wealth is invested in real estate. Moreover, China's residential leverage is now 63%, the highest in the world. This means that many families are relying on loans to buy homes, and they are now under enormous debt pressure. It is important to note that in the past, the real estate market achieved success through continuous upgrading of homes. For example, a person sells the old and shabby home to buy an elevator home, and then buys a more expensive and improved home, and so on. Now, however, sellers of high-end properties are eager to cash in or pay off their loans, while buyers at the lower end of the market are afraid to take over because of the market's downturn. In addition, the base buyers are afraid to enter the market due to falling prices, resulting in a break in the entire chain. This has a direct impact on the sale of luxury properties, as no one is willing to invest large sums of money in high-end properties in an unstable market. It's not just luxury homes that aren't selling, neither are luxury cars in China. How bad is the price drop? The BMW i3, which was officially quoted at $48,770, is now selling for as little as $26,046 for the basic model, a drop of more than 50%. The Audi A4L's base price has now dropped below the $27,562 mark, almost a 32% discount. Mercedes-Benz even announced a discount of nearly $1,384 for its entire lineup, and even the imported model CLS has joined the ranks of price cuts. Volvo, the known European luxury brand, has reduced the price of its entire lineup by up to $1,835, with the S60 costing only $30,598 and the XC60 costing only $37,208. Even Porsche has lowered the price of its Macan in Shenzhen to as low as $55,124. The Taycan is reduced by 35%. Several other Porsche models have also seen price reductions of varying degrees. According to the feedback from several Porsche salespersons, the current discounts for the 718 and 911 series are basically more than 10%. Some sales staff believe that this big discount is mainly due to the market environment. Stores have been subjected to a lot of sales pressure, and now many car companies are selling at a loss. The financial report shows that in the first quarter of 2024, Porsche's global deliveries amounted to 77,600 vehicles, a year-on-year decline of about 4%. As one of its most important markets, Porsche's sales in China was 16,340 units in the first quarter, down 24% year-on-year. Not only Porsche, but several traditional luxury brands experienced cold sales in China in 2023. According to the 2023 financial report, the sales volume of super luxury brands such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bentley all declined to different degrees in China. Among them, Bentley's sales in China plunged 18% year-on-year, while Lamborghini fell by about 17%. There are several reasons why luxury cars have begun to drop significantly in price. On the one hand, middle-class consumption has downgraded, and in recent years, the assets of the middle class have shrunk the most, and the economic downturn has greatly affected their employment and income. Industries such as finance, education, game, and internet are all in the doldrums. The real estate and stock markets have also hit the middle class. As a result, they have cut back on their consumption of luxury cars, leading to a significant drop in their sales. For example, Porsche's domestic sales fell 15% year-on-year in 2023, and 23.5% in the first quarter of 2024. Audi's pre-tax profit has even been slashed by half. In addition, luxury cars can't withstand the price war of domestic brands. After the epidemic, the price of domestic EVs has been cheap. BYD knocked down the price of its midsize cars to less than $10,873. In the face of the price advantage of domestic vehicles, joint venture luxury brands can only lower their prices to remain competitive. The price war has sparked widespread anger among automakers. At an auto forum in Chongqing last week, many chairmen of domestic and joint venture companies criticized the price war. And it's not the only thing that's going wrong, as another high-end sector in China is experiencing a cliff-like fall, that is, high-end restaurants. A search on China's Xiaohongshu for expensive Western food or high-end Western food reveals that in 2024, relatively renowned Western food restaurants have closed down all over the country. According to various data, the proportion of restaurants with a per capita spending of more than $70 has shrunk significantly. High-end Western food accounts for a large proportion of it. According to the new fine dining white paper released by Douyin earlier this year, as of October 2023, domestic fine dining restaurants increased by 17.4% year-on-year. Recently, Osteria, China's first Italian oyster restaurant specializing in oysters, which has been operating in Shanghai for 16 years, is scheduled to close on May 31st due to the expiration of its lease. The Chinese-Japanese-French innovative fusion restaurant People 6, which can be said to be the meeting place for the first generation of internet celebrities 20 years ago, has now closed down. In the face of increasingly budget-conscious customers, these high-end restaurants have had to adopt a more down-to-earth approach to saving costs and attracting customers. It includes low-priced coffee, publicity through the social media Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok, private supply, low-priced takeout, and even considering opening up for franchising. UVVU's Cafe was once the sister brand of Ultraviolet, one of Shanghai's most expensive Western restaurants, with a per capita spending of more than US $900. But now at UVVU's Cafe, you can get a cup of coffee for only US $4. Opera Bombana, which sold one dumpling for US $8, finally ran out of steam. Before it went out of business, it no longer cared about its high-end image and started selling cakes online at $7 per piece. Renowned food critic Xiao Quan said that the wave of closures has just begun, not only in Beijing and Shanghai, but also in major cities, starting with the less risk-resistant standalone Western and Japanese restaurants. Not only that, many Scandinavian restaurants and French restaurants have closed down due to poor management. Rental data also verifies this trend from another angle. According to the 2024 Retail Business Trends Report released by Savills, compared with 2022, the newly leased area of Shanghai's high-end fine dining in various subcategories has dropped significantly in 2023. This shows to some extent that investors and brands have become more cautious when opening new high-end catering stores. It should be noted that 3 or 4 years ago was the explosive growth period of high-end restaurants. At that time, many high-end restaurants in Beijing and Shanghai did really well and set sales records. It was difficult to even get a reservation in restaurants where the per-person spending exceeded US $138. This sizzling scene, coupled with optimism about the future, has led to the rapid growth of high-end restaurants, including high-end Western-style cuisines. However, now that China's economic bubble has dissipated and the middle class is going back to poverty, many high-priced Western restaurants are facing difficulties and have fallen into a cycle of opening and closing quickly. Moreover, the food appeal of many expensive Western restaurants is uncertain, and they have largely relied on top business districts and high-end environments to attract customers. Although this kind of atmosphere can attract customers for a while, it doesn't serve to be a long-term solution. Both high-end Western restaurants and restaurants that serve average consumers are facing the same dilemma. Consumers are becoming more cautious and the frequency of consumption is decreasing, leading to lower profits. China has entered a society of low desire. High-end Western food, already a niche market, is more vulnerable to volatility as entrepreneurship, stock market, investment, and real estate markets are all in decline. At present, how budget-conscious are Chinese people? According to data from the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, although the number of travelers on the May-long weekend holiday of 2024 increased dramatically, the average per capita spending was only 565 yuan, which is about 83% of that in 2019. It shows that everyone is trying to save money through poor travel. A low-desire society doesn't mean no spending, but more rational spending. As such, the whole industry pattern will change. Expensive, overpriced products will become less popular, and people will become more sensitive to price. The concept of the fourth consumption era proposed by Japanese sociologist Miura Shu also expresses a similar view. In the third era of consumption, people's consumption is accompanied by prosperity and bubbles, and spending to show off wealth gradually brings a sense of emptiness. When the economic crisis comes, the dual lack of material and spiritual energy forces people to enter the fourth era of consumption. In this era, people's demand for luxury goods and trendy products has decreased, while their requirements for product quality and comfort have increased.